YouTube channel. This is my first video ever, and I am here to talk to you about the TEAS test and my experience with it and what I did in order to prepare myself for it. And so yeah, let's get started. So the first thing I did was find out what was gonna kind of be on the TEAS test. I knew there was gonna be a reading section, there was gonna be a science one, of course, and then English and math. The part that I was most concerned about was the science part, because I know it has to do a lot with anatomy and stuff like that. And even though I was taking anatomy and physiology 1 at that time, I was still a little nervous about it. So the first thing I did in order to prepare myself for it was find out what all was going to be on the TEAS test. So I did my little research and found out that there was going to be a reading, English, science, and math part on it. Now, after I found out about what all was going to be on there, I started looking online for some books to study it, to help me study for it. And I found one that people recommended to me, and that book is the TEAS Secret Study Guide book. I found this on Amazon. I forgot how much it was, but I'm pretty sure it was less than $30, because I'm not going to spend $30 on a book. And this was really helpful because it had a practice test in it, and it just helped me a lot. Another book that I used was the TEAS Study Manual 6th edition. This book, I got it from my community college bookstore, and this book is I really recommend this book because it is short, and I know that most of y'all prepare for the TEAS test 2 weeks away from the actual test, and so this book is very short and convenient for those of you who are waiting at the very last moment to study for it. I recommend to study 6 months before it. That'll get you really prepared and just get you where you need to be at. But me, I started studying a month before it. So what I like about this book is that it's very short, and also it gives you a practice test at the end of each section. So after each section, like reading or science, English or math, it gives you a practice test, and you can kind of see what you need to work on after taking the practice test, and it's just very convenient. Another thing I like about this book is that it gives you a section to read about. So on reading, it gives you a section, reading 2.2, and this section talks about recognize the structure of text in various formats. And at the end of this little section, it gives you 2 questions about it, and that way you can practice a little bit more. It has a lot of practice questions, and that's what I really like about this book. It gives you definitions. So if you don't know what a metaphor is, a personification is, or a simile is, it'll give you a definition about it, and that way you'll have a little bit more clue. Now, I know a lot of this we learned back in elementary, middle school, and high school, and this book just really refreshes your mind, so that way you'll be really prepared when you take the TEAS test. Now, for my nursing program, I needed to score a 45 on the reading section, a 30 on the math section, 30 on science section, and 35 on English section. My overall composite score that I needed was a 40. And my scores, I got an overall score of a 70. For the reading score, I scored a 73. On math, I scored a 87. On science, I scored a little lower because the science section is, like I said, a little challenging because it's a lot of things that you might or might not know. That's why I feel like you need to prepare yourself the most on the science section. But on the science section, I scored a 53, and then on English and language, I scored a 70. The section that I scored the highest was on the math section, because I feel on the math section, it's math that you've seen before, elementary school math, middle school math, and so on. A lot of it is just fractions, decimals, percents. That's what I would mainly recommend that you study. If you're not good at it, then maybe take practice tests online, or look up online on how to like convert a fraction to a percent or like a percent to a decimal. That's what I would mostly recommend for the math section. On the reading section, if you're not a fast reader, I would recommend to like practice timing yourself in reading a certain paragraph or like a certain article in such a certain time, because most likely I didn't run out of time, but I heard that some people were running out of time on the reading section because they weren't fast readers, and I would really recommend that you practice timing yourself on reading fast. For the science section, I recommend studying the function of each system. On my test, I know all tests are different, but on my test there was a lot of things about the endocrine system, so study that. I would also recommend like studying the hormones because that was on there. For the English, well, the English wasn't really hard. Just know like your grammar, spelling, punctuation marks, and stuff like that. Another important thing that you might want to know for the English section is analyzing subject-verb agreement. And like I said, just know how to use proper grammar and know if the sentence is written correctly or if you need to switch it around a little to make the sentence sound right. And that is basically all I recommend for this TEAS test. The TEAS test, I would not describe it as hard. I wouldn't say it's like the ACT, but it's a little like the ACT. The science section is what I would study the most for because that's what I scored the least on. And I feel like a lot of people score the least on the science section from what I've heard. But yeah, this is what I needed to score and what I did in order to get accepted into the program at my community college. I will be uploading more videos. Comment down below on what you want me to talk about on my next video. I will start nursing school in June and I'm excited about it. I will keep y'all guys updated on it. If you need me to talk about something else, just comment down below and I will make a video about it for you. I will keep you guys updated, like I said, once I go into nursing school, and I will talk to you about my classes and how everything is going on. And yeah, see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.